Today we are speaking with Diane Faben, founder of Mentors for Women. It's a community built to connect women with experienced mentors who can offer support, guidance, and encouragement on their professional journeys. Diane has been leading the charge in creating spaces where women can build confidence, clarity, and connection. And today we will talk about what Mentors for Women is all about, why Diane started it, who it is for, and how it helps women find the right mentors. Diane, could you start by sharing what Mentors for Women is and what makes it unique within the mentoring space?
Good morning, Vipi. Yes, certainly. So, Mentors for Women is a subscription based mentoring service, paid for mentoring service, but it's much, much more than that. We call it a space to grow and a place to be. So, we can share stories there, we share artwork, and we are there for all women of all ages, business types, housewives, you name it. If you're a woman and you need some support in some way, we're there for you. But what makes it unique is that it's not limited to industry type or a time of year or the number of people that you can talk to or the number of people that are on there. I've done a lot of research into a lot of mentoring organisations, and sometimes you can put in criteria that you're looking for and you get the same three people over and over again because there are only three people in the organisation. If you've got a mentoring organisation within a business organisation, quite often you don't have the confidentiality that you might need as part of your mentoring process. So, we offer a lot of things that most of the other organisations don't offer. We call ourselves Mentors for Women. The only criteria that we ask you to abide by is the fact that you're over 18. Men can apply. And we actually do have a couple of male mentors. So, we're not limiting ourselves in any way. We don't want to be limited. We have a wide variety of mentors. We've got a doctor, we've got a double bass player, we've got an artist, we've got lots of business people of all sorts of shapes and sizes and experience. And experience is something else that's really, really important to talk about because work experience is one thing, but it's not the only thing that matters when you're talking to a mentor. Life experience is really, really important as well. I am me today because of my life experience as well as my work experience. And a wise mentor can bring a lot to a person that you just wouldn't get with somebody who was young and inexperienced in life.
What inspired you to start Mentors for Women? Was there a particular gap you noticed that other networks weren't addressing?
What inspired me really was a weekend working with a group of women on a personal development course and hearing the stories one after another about women struggling, particularly in their workspace, about recognition, about the way they were treated, and about having nowhere to go to resolve any of that. And it's something I've experienced as well. And I know a lot of women have experienced these things. But then a conversation with a young woman who was an engineer. So again, I worked in IT, very much male dominated. She was working in a male dominated environment. And she was really struggling to become recognised as an engineer. She was being recognised as a woman who does stuff, but not as an engineer. And we had a long conversation about how we could help her and what things she should do and so on and so forth. And in the end, I said, what you really need is you need a mentor. And then, where does a woman get a mentor from? It's very hard. And that's where the mentorswomen.com was born in that moment. I have this conversation with women all the time who say to me, I looked for a mentor, but I didn't know where to find one. I just couldn't find one anywhere. And women aren't overly happy about having mentors within their organisation, because if it's something within your organisation that you're unhappy about, or if you're thinking about moving on or something like that, then you want to be able to talk to somebody confidentially. So it was all of those things that came together. I did a lot of research, and there's a huge amount of research out there about the fact that women don't know where to find a mentor, don't know where to find a mentor in their organisation. They've given up by the time they're in their mid-40s. They've given up trying to get anywhere, and so on and so forth. So it seemed to me that there was just a real need for an organisation that could offer mentoring to women, all women at all stages of their life. Even if you're going into retirement, you might need a mentor, because I know when I retired, I was lost for a little while. You need to have somebody who can advise you and who can help you find a way forward in your life.
You already covered a little bit who is Mentors for Women for, but if we go a little bit deeper with that, what kinds of women tend to join and what are they hoping to achieve?
All kinds of women, women looking for career change, women looking to get an advancement within their career, within their organisation. So, what do they need to do in order to take the next step? Often it's a confidence thing. There's this thing about, if a job is advertised and there are 10 items on the list of requirements, a man can do 2 and he'll apply for the job. A woman can do 9 and she'll think, oh, I'm not good enough. So it's about helping women realise that you don't need to do all 10. It's about helping women understand and find a way to have that confidence in themselves, that confidence that is there because they're doing the jobs that they're doing well. Sometimes we have this thing about we're not good enough for some reason. We have things about the fact that we won't be able to deal with it. We have a different way of working to men. Sometimes that's not viewed as the right way, but actually we have a lot to offer. So it's being able to dig into who you are and understand what it is that you've got to offer and have the confidence to go out there and actually get on with it in a way that you couldn't before. So really a mentor is there to listen and help by asking probing questions to help the mentee really understand that they do have what it takes, or look for the tools that they need to use to get to where they need to be, that sort of thing. So it's a real deep dive into who you are and supporting you. So all sorts of women who want to start a new business, women who just want to make change in their lives. We need to be clear, we're not there to provide counselling services. We're not coaches. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're not there to provide all the people that you need to talk to get your new job. We're there to help you find your way.
You mentioned that Mentors for Women has a big variety of different kind of mentors. So could you tell a bit more about the mentors, their backgrounds, and how they support mentees in practice?
When we talk to people who want to become a mentor, they go through a process of onboarding. And obviously we have a conversation with them. We do a lot of mentor development. They have to go through mentor development level 1. All our development is aligned to the Institute of Leadership and Management mentor courses and development. So we have a wide range of people. I think I mentioned earlier, we have a doctor, we have a double bass player who's also a transplantee. So she has a lot of life experience. We have an artist. We have a lot of business people, accountants, IT people, sales people. As I mentioned earlier, it's life experience as well as a business experience or work experience. How they support them in practice. They'll have regular meetings and they'll set them some objectives, or they'll agree objectives between them. All our mentors have a mentoring need to start with. So this is the thing that they want to achieve out of the mentoring process. Objectives will be set and recorded, and the mentees will work towards achieving those objectives during the period of time. So they book 3 sessions at a time with the mentors. They will book a session in with their mentor for an hour. And during that session, they will have an agenda which they will discuss go through all the particular items on the agenda, and the mentor will be listening and questioning what's talking about. For example, the mentee might say, "Oh, I had a really difficult conversation with my boss the other day. So what was difficult about it?" "Well, it was this, and he told me that, and whatever." "And how did you feel about that?" "Well, I felt this." "So why did you feel that?" And really digging into what's behind the feelings and trying to get through through that way of thinking, so that they can actually think about things differently and deal with things differently to feel more positive about what they're doing. As a small example. But it may be, that the mentee is looking for a new role and is worried about certain elements of their capability. So they might explore those. So they'll have an hour session at a time, and out of that hour, they will maybe adjust the objectives, maybe change one of the objectives as things unfold. A mentor's role is really, really to listen really carefully to what is being said and understand and dig deep into that to help the mentee move forward. After the 3 sessions that they've had, hopefully, and those 3 sessions can be over any period of time. So it might be that they have a session a month. It might be that they have a session every 6 months. It will vary according to the needs of the mentee. It's not a hard and fast solution. And after that period is over, if the mentee wants more sessions, they can buy more sessions. But we limit it to 3 to start with, because we're thinking about the financial impact it might have on somebody. The other thing is that if right at the beginning it's clear between the two that they don't gel, then what we do is we will do a polite divorce and move on and allow the mentee to move on and find somebody else. And likewise, if the mentor feels that there is something not quite right about the situation, they can highlight that to us as well. It may be that actually they think this person really needs counselling. It's not really a mentoring situation. We will manage those situations as well. We're there to support both parties, if you like, if anything goes wrong.
You already covered a little bit how mentors support mentees in practice, and also covered the process, how it actually works. Can you walk us through what happens from sign up to active mentoring?
Once somebody signs up to become a member of the organisation, the first thing that they'll be asked to do will be to complete their profile. And their profile covers the usual things, name, address, email address, and all that sort of stuff. But it also asks about their experience, sort of roles that they're undertaking, and what they're looking for in terms of a mentoring need. Mentoring need is really important to us because it's something we want to track across the whole of our mentees over time, because it may well be that it shows that there is a certain mentoring need that's cropping up again and again and again. So maybe we can do something about that. Maybe we can put a course together to help for something like that. So once they've put their mentoring need in and everything else, they can then go and look for a mentor, and they can search via various criteria. Some of our mentors are across the world, but that shouldn't make any difference in terms of being able to choose somebody who's on the other side of the world. So they can look at mentors, and they can have a look at the mentor profile. It's a smaller version of the mentor profile. Obviously, no personal information is shared in any way between any parties. And they also can look at the mentor's statement, which is something about the mentor. I like to call it the essence of you. The mentor writes something about themselves that can give the person an idea about who they are, and whether, a person can think, "Oh, that sounds familiar. I kind of know that. Maybe that would be good for me to have talked to this woman." They can choose up to 3, and then they can have a free 15-minute conversation with those 3. And at the end of that, they can make a decision to choose one of those 3. If none of those 3 work for them, then they can start all over again. Obviously, it's not a never ending. We won't let them just go through the whole mentor body to find a mentor. They should be able to find one in a reasonable amount of time, we would think. Once they've chosen their mentor, the mentor is then informed of that, and the mentor can make a decision whether or not they want to do it, because it may be that they feel that they're not the right person for them, that they don't feel that they will gel. The other thing is the mentors, when they sign up, we categorize them in terms of their capability to be a level 1, 2, 3, or 4. And a level 1 is a junior mentor, and a level 4 is a C-suite mentor. And C-suite mentors, or even the high management mentors, can choose to work down levels. So a C-suite level 4 mentor might choose to work down to level 2, which is a sort of middle management type mentor. They will agree a price as well. When they're talking to them, they will say, okay, I will work for you at this level. Their levels are all on their record, so the mentees can see what level mentor that they're talking to. And it's a bit of a win-win, because junior mentees can access senior mentors at a price that is appropriate to their level. Once they've signed up, they will then pay for 3 mentoring sessions. And once that the payment has been made, they can then book an appointment with the mentor. All of this is recorded in the mentor-mentee record, and it's the responsibility of the mentee to keep a record of all these, of the meetings, of the objectives that are set, etc., etc. And the mentor can look at this mentee-mentor record at any time and make sure that it's up to date and agrees with what's being said in it, and dip into it, say, a month later and see whether any progress has been made on objectives and that sort of thing. And then when the mentoring relationship is complete, the mentee then gives some feedback to the mentor, and likewise, the mentor gives some feedback to the mentee. I should have mentioned that if they've had 3 meetings with 3 mentors, when they make their decision, they do give feedback to the mentors that they decided not to, so that we get a good idea of why people are turned down. And it may be then that we realise that we need to do some work with a mentor on what they're offering, or so on and so forth, if we get some negative feedback on a consistent basis. Not something we're expecting, but again, it's important to have that feedback so that we know. It's a journey, and hopefully at the end of it, they will have achieved their mentoring need.
How does this mentoring happen? How do those connections typically happen? Is it mostly online or in person or a mix?
It's mostly online. If people are local, obviously people can choose to meet in person. The likelihood is that they're going to choose somebody from far away, because if you're looking for specific things. We've become very much an online world over the last few years, and COVID saw to that. So when we first started thinking about doing this, we didn't really expect it to be as online as it has become, but it is mainly online. We do all our mentor development online as well, and that works quite well. We have thought about doing some on-site training and development, and we may well review that and come back to that again, which would give mentors particularly, and trainee mentors, an opportunity to network a little bit more. And we have thought about doing some networking as well, having some networking sessions for mentors and for mentees. Now, bearing in mind, one of the things that I said right at the beginning is that we want to grow the mentors of the future. And I think the opportunity for the mentees to become mentors is an essential part of this process and this organisation that we're building. We want to be able to offer a greater range of training than we currently do. Currently, we're doing ILM 1, 2, and 3, but we have plans to do an ILM 4 training course, and we also have plans to run other courses that we really feel that there's a need for. In terms of face-to-face meetings, we have started in the last year, well, just over a year now, an organisation called Just Women, which is a networking organisation for women. And that is proving very, very fruitful. So maybe some of the things that we're learning in that will be subsumed into Mentors for Women as well.
Finally, how can women looking for a mentor or mentors keen to contribute get involved?
There are a number of things that you could do. You can read all about us on our website, which is mentorswomen.com. There's a lot of information about how we work and what we do there. You can send me an email and I will get in touch with you and we will have a meeting and see what we can do to help you. If you want to become a mentor, there's some training that you have to do initially, and we'll work with you to see what level you are, etc. If you're looking for a mentor, at the moment, we will go out and suggest some people for you to look through, and we'll provide you with their profile information. We've got profile information about some of our mentors on our website. So if you go into the website and go to community and mentors, you can see quite some interesting stories about some of our mentors. We've also started a series of YouTube videos with some of our mentors, which Rippy has been hosting for us. And they're great. You get to meet the person. You get to meet who the person is. It's not about what their mentoring style is. It's about the person. And that gives you a real flavour of the sort of women that we have employed. Employed is not the right word, but we have working for us, engaged in this process. And they're all women who are absolutely passionate about what we're doing. And that's the thing that, for me, is the most important thing of all, that everybody's passion for this. And it's what drives me. It's the passion about this is what drives me. So get in touch with me if you're really looking to become a mentor. And if you're looking for a mentor, get in touch with me and I can make some suggestions and make the initial connections for you to have your free 15 minutes. And we can go from there. And in case you don't know, my email address is diane.faben@mentorswomen.com. Very easy, even if it is a bit of a mouthful.
Thank you, Diane. I absolutely love what you have been doing as the founder of Mentors for Women and really building something unique, a community that truly is connecting women with experienced mentors and finding the right mentor to get the support and guidance and encouragement for life journey and also our professional journey, whether that's a career building or business building. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, Virpi. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.